Association of Muslim Professionals, also known as AMP, is a community self-help group established in 1991. The creation of AMP was a critical settlement for the first National Convention of Singapore, Malay/Muslim professionals, where challenges and issues faced by the community were addressed. It serves as a helping hand, providing the needed support and guidelines for the well-being of the Malay Muslim community. AMP offers a range of services and programs targeted mainly at the underprivileged families, debtors, workers, home business owner, youth, and students. The services and programs available vary from skill trainings like youth enrichment programs, adopt a family and youth scheme, to educational aids like Ready for School funds and counseling such as marriage counseling and debt advisory. AMP vision, mission, and aspiration for the community is as such. Vision is to be a model organization in community leadership. Its mission is to be a thought leader, problem solver, and mobilizer for the advancement of the community. And AMP aspires to build a dynamic Muslim community. Guided by its aspiration to bring about a dynamic Muslim community in the 21st century, AMP collaborates with parties who support and identify with its mission, including the government, which has the interests of majority population and hence advancing the community as a whole. There are two main subsidiaries in AMP, which are Center for Research on Islamic and Malay Affairs, which is known as RIMA, and Merkur Learning Point. Also, there is a Youth AMP, which handles the youth movement in AMP. RIMA is a research center responsible for research programs in various key areas consisting of education, social, economics, religion, civic society, and leadership. At its former Learning Point, it has two main business units, which are the Kids, Middle, Early Childhood and Development Centers and Merkur Student Care Centers. Youth AMP is an operating unit for youth who are committed to be the future successors of AMP, inducing fresh ideas and contribution to the Malay Muslim community, and simultaneously carrying out AMP mission and leadership in the society. Youth AMP conducts workshops and seminars which exposes youth to national and global level issues. Currently, AMP faces a high turnover rate for staff and volunteers and mentioned that it is difficult to get a hold of quality staff to help with their programs. Also, AMP has to keep a fine balance of being independent while complying enough to get government's fundings. Moving on to the demographics of the Malay community, based on our 2010 demographics report commissioned by AMP, there are some key trends. Firstly, the population proportion of Malay has fell from 1970, which is at 15%, to 13.4% in 2010 to 2011. And this is attributed to the increase in migration of non-Malay into Singapore. And this figure is expected to decline further by 2020. Secondly, the Malay community is a youthful community. As compared to the old dependency ratio of national level, which is at 12.2, the old dependency ratio of the Malay population is relatively lower at 8.6. An old dependency ratio of 8.6 means that for every 100 people in the working nation, they have to support 8.6 elderly. Thirdly, over the years, there has been an increase in education attainment for the Malay population. Education index was 123 in 2005 and it has increased to 146 in 2010. Likewise, it is noted that tertiary index for enrollment has seen an increase of 69% within 5 years from 2005 to 2010. Fourthly, there is an increment in labour participation rate, particularly for the Malay women. Despite labour force participation rate being lower than national levels, the rate for the Muslim Malay community has seen an increase. Lastly, income level have increased gradually for the Malay population since 1980s.
Notable variances in terms of revenue consist of a decrease in student care fees and subsidies, and research income amounting to 22% and 100% respectively. Notable increases include that of social action programs and training and education projects amounting to 52% and 334% respectively. On the other hand, notable expenditure decreases consist of maintaining student care centers and contribution for community projects amounting to 21% and 63% respectively. Whereas notable expenditure increases consist of maintenance of childcare centers and human resource, volunteer management, corporate services and adult education amounting to 16%, 82%, 37% and 29% respectively. From the stated variances, we noted that AMP is moving towards the direction of implementing programs focusing on areas of interest such as job readiness and placements, adoption of community-centric practice ensuring better job facilitation, and creating alternative income source for individuals from home-based business. Currently, AMP is running a charity coupon drive in aid of the less privileged families under the Adopt a Family and Youth Scheme up to 31st March 2019. Individuals may support by purchasing a booklet of coupons for these two eateries, mainly Arnold's Fried Chicken and Fig Tree Restaurant, where each booklet contains 5 coupons for redemption. EMP is also notably associated with TAA Trust Fund, which carries out an annual charity drive which has produced $800,000 for its roughly 3,000 beneficiaries, a record sum for the fund during 2016. TAA has currently 17 founding institutional members as of 2018, including AMP.
For the first strategy, we suggest for AMP to collaborate with Daughter of Tomorrow, also known as DOT, a non-profit organization whose target audience are women from low-income families. This collaboration will resolve the shortcoming of AMP program and their current issue of lack of manpower. The reason we chose DOT is because they have very similar objectives as AMP, which is to help underprivileged, low-income and troubled families and run suitable programs. DOT held training courses and programs such as IT literacy program, financial literacy program that aid women in getting back to the workforce effectively. To facilitate their job readiness, DOT has an employer partnership program called the DOT Employ to Empower program, which provides a platform for companies and business who want to adopt community-centric practice in their operation. Lastly, with their partnership and connection, DOT aims to secure jobs for their fellow beneficiaries, ensuring that they have stable income and are able to contribute back to the economy. Currently, with more than 15 eldercare employers in both public and private sector, DOT has a better chance in securing jobs for their beneficiaries in the fast-growing eldercare sector. How this strategy works is for AMP to refer their female beneficiary under the Adopt a Family and Youth Scheme to DOT. The Adopt a Family and Youth Scheme is a program run by AMP where most of their beneficiaries are women. This program provides assistance to underprivileged families, encouraging them to be self-reliant by equipping participants with trade, business, and IT skills so that they can start up home-based businesses as an alternative source of income. Simultaneously, the program also introduced skill upgrading that will increase the beneficiary employability. So by collaborating with DOT, AMP provides another alternative to the female beneficiary, which is to get back into the workforce and receive stable monthly income, in addition to the income generated from their home-based business, as sales and profit from home-based business are not as consistent and are closely related to the business industry chosen and customers' preference. For the last part of this strategy, school-going children under the Adopt a Family and Youth Scheme are enrolled in tuition class and enrichment program. After both parents hold full-time job, AMP can actually provide their childcare and school care service for this family in addition to tuition class and enrichment program. And to create a win-win situation, women of DOT can enroll their children under AMP childcare and school care service at a subsidized rate to lighten their financial burden. Moving on to the second strategy, we would like to propose an expansion in Youth Hub and focus on pressing youth issues like the mental health issue. According to Suicide Prevention Center SOS, teen suicide rose to 15-year high in 2015 with a total of 27 suicides between the age 10 to 19 years old. SOS Helpline has also noticed a significant increase from 2012 to 2016 with questions streamed from loneliness and boredom. In 2016, they had received 1,900 calls from those aged ranging 5 to 19, an increase of 70% compared to 2012. Another helpline specially for primary school student Tinker Friend also witnessed a 50% increase from 2012 to 2016 in call and messages on its online chat service. The new program suggested is a peer support group program where AMP will engage professional counselors to conduct training for youth, teaching them how to look out for signs of depression and also how they can offer emotional support to their peers. This program will be launched at the Jurong Point Youth Hub and subsequently at the various youth hubs with the expansion of youth hub around Singapore.
Our third strategy is actually a project to help families get through caring for elderly people in their last days through guidance in palliative care and also providing social support for the family members. We are targeting this segment of people mainly due to aging population and also a poor old age support ratio happening in our society. Also, we would like to look at the increasing numbers of elderly people without proper family support to help them walk through the last walk in life. And lastly, we realized that there is a lack of attention for elderly people, especially in their last stage in AMP, and we wish to tackle this issue in this strategy. We have gathered from our research on some common problems faced by families who are taking care of terminally ill patients at home. So the first one being a lack of proper hospice care knowledge, because on top of taking care of the daily activities that the patient require help to get through, the family members also need to take care of any medical attention that requires professional help. And secondly, the family members have to manage the patient's emotional well-being as well as their own emotional welfare, because they are also losing someone that they dearly love in this period of time. The second thing that families face is actually the financial restraints from getting external help. Getting a professional hospice caregiver in Singapore is really expensive. It can be a big ticket item costing from $600 to $1,000 every single month. On top of that, if let's say they were to hire a domestic helper, they need time and money to send the helper for professional training before they can actually come on the job. Besides, getting external help is really expensive, and they are not able to get as much financial support from the government as possible. So many times family members actually have to give up their full-time job in order to take care of the patient at home, which means one less income on top of all the heavy medical bills that they are facing. The last one will be a project that is a collaboration between AMP and a palliative care center that's under the Singapore Hospice Council. AMP will be looking to create a series of courses that are for our Muslim community, such that the hospice care courses are infused with the Islamic teachings, such that our Malay communities can benefit much better, because at these difficult times, they can actually fall back to the familiar teachings of Islam. And secondly, we would like to start a social services support group for families that are going through this difficult period. So this support group will actually be there to help these families gather the kind of grants or fundings that they can actually secure from the government, and also be there for the family members that are going through this tough time, such that they can actually manage their emotional welfare better. Besides, this group of social workers, they would like to reach out to this group of people who are elderly people without family support, such that these elderly people, they can actually move on peacefully at the last walk of life. In conclusion, we feel that AMP has provided a lot for the Malay community in Singapore by lending a helping hand to people who need it at different times of their lives. Hence, our strategies looked into optimizing the kind of support that we can provide for children and youth in the community, such that they can become a better future for our nation. On top of that, we also reached into a segment that was previously missed out by targeting on how to provide better hospice care for elderly people in our community, and also taking care of their family members while going through this hard time. Thank you!